Before I conclude, I would like to take note of a possible objection to the approach I've been applying. As we've seen, critics often allege interpolation when a phrase or a line seems not fully in keeping with its context, or when it appears stylistically questionable. But is it really inconceivable that Ovid, for example, on occasion wrote a line that was only loosely connected to its surroundings, or a line that did not show him at his best? The question is legitimate and deserves a serious answer. If the alleged instances of interpolation were restricted to the text of a single author, we might well wonder if we had not properly grasped that author's habits of writing, or whether we were imposing an unrealistic standard of consistent perfection. As it happens, however, interpolation of the kind I call collaborative has been alleged by multiple editors in the text of just about every Latin poet, not only Ovid, but Seneca, Lucan, Juvenal, and even Horace, the most fastidious of writers. It seems to me more likely that we are dealing with a form of readerly response to texts than that so many great writers fell short of their own standards in such closely similar ways. I'll close with some brief general remarks. Locating interpolations is just one way in which editors of classical text try to restore the original by removing departures from it that have occurred in the course of transmission. In that sense, it is similar to conjecture, the attempt to replace a corrupt reading with the authentic reading. Like conjecture, the search for interpolations is not a scientific process, but a form of educated guesswork. Also like conjecture, the pursuit of interpolations has often been controversial for a variety of reasons. One is that there are relatively few certain interpolations in Latin texts, especially poetic texts. Among the exceptions would be cases where lines from one known author appear in the text of another, as happens when lines from Ovid's Amores turn up in manuscripts of Propertius. In the great majority of cases, however, we are dealing not with provable facts, but with probabilities, and there will always be room for doubt or disagreement. Another reason for controversy is one for which students of interpolation have only themselves to blame. Scholars who've devoted themselves to the pursuit of interpolation have often succumbed to a form of hyperskepticism that leaves plausibility far behind. I recently came across a pair of articles arguing that 6 passages in Horace's Ars Poetica are interpolations composed by the Emperor Augustus. The eminent Hellenist Bernard Knox once compared overzealous hunters of interpolation to the English country dentist who says to his patient, "If you won't miss it, why not have it out?" As in other areas of textual criticism, the study of interpolation hardly ever produces definitive results. I do believe, however, that we now understand this phenomenon somewhat better than in the past, and that editors in recent decades have made significant progress in identifying plausible examples. I hope that this presentation has helped you to see why investigating interpolation matters, and what that investigation can contribute to our appreciation of Latin literature.